So this is M50, which is indoor air pollution, and this can be a significant problem. You think of, we talk about outdoor air pollution, we talk about smog, we talk about particulates in the air, but indoor air pollution can be just as bad, especially in developing countries. Think about where they get their energy from, how they cook. They probably have pretty poor ventilation in these different circumstances. So that's our first question down here is, why do developing countries have significant indoor air pollution? So potentially looking at the picture on the right, this woman is cooking, and generally we don't cook over open fire indoor, but in a lot of developing countries, that's their means of energy. And so there's probably not a lot of good ventilation there. And so that's one of the big issues is heating and cooking is kind of a big problem as far as their particulates in the air and the gases that are being put into the air. And then moving over to page 562, this picture's diagram is worth looking at. It just shows different areas where we have volatile chemicals in the air. We have different things being given off in our house, paint, sprays, cleaners, carpeting, all kinds of things. And so just kind of having a general idea of where these pollutants, indoor pollutants, would come from. And then why is indoor air in developed countries becoming an issue? So we're developed, and why is it suddenly becoming an issue even though we know that this is not a good thing, and we seem to have more insulation and more things in our house to kind of take care of that, filters. Think about, the book did mention that more people are spending time indoors, which is sad. It's one of the reasons why we need to get outdoors more, is just to breathe cleaner air. But we're trapped inside, we're spending more time inside, we're together with maybe potentially more people inside. Our houses are becoming well insulated, so that means that not only fresh air not coming in, but it's not being ventilated maybe correctly out. So these are some reasons, but make sure you read it. And then looking at different things that might be in our indoor air, so carbon monoxide is one. It's one of the main reasons you have a carbon monoxide detector, and you're very careful because carbon monoxide is put into the air mostly by natural gas, and natural gas burns very clean, like we've talked about, as far as fossil fuels go. Well, we don't smell it. So it's not like propane where it has a distinct smell. We really don't smell it. And so we could be breathing carbon monoxide and not really realize that. And it binds to our hemoglobin in our blood and reduces the oxygen. And so it causes you to get really sleepy or not wake up from sleeping and die in your sleep, pretty much. So how does it get indoor? How does it get in there in the first place? And then looking at asbestos, why is asbestos bad? Where is it found? How does it get into our house? And how is it harmful to us? And then radon is another one. So radon is coming from radioactive decay, and it's found naturally. But what is radon 222? Where does it come from? And how does it affect humans? And then this figure 50.3, it shows radon exposure in the U.S. And so just know kind of the general area of where radon is a significant problem and where it's low risk. So where we live is low risk. Where I'm from, the state of Iowa, it's entirely blue, which was kind of disturbing to look at. But anyways, we're safe here, so I'm glad I moved here, I guess. And then moving to down here, the volatile chemicals, volatile organic chemicals. Where are they in our home? So how are they getting in there? What are we breathing? Think about things that you use to clean, things that have smell. That smell is organic chemicals in the air. Same with air fresheners. It's important when you're using air fresheners to know what exactly you're using. And that new carpet smell. So I put that on this little sticky note. Yeah, that smells really good, and especially when you paint your house or room, you've got that new smell. Well, that new smell is potentially really harmful. And so a lot of it, especially in carpet, is formaldehyde, and that gives off kind of that pungent odor. and that's, smells like a new house. But it can also be really toxic to breathe. So how is formaldehyde bad? What does it do to us? And then on this page, this is kind of interesting. It used to be, up until when I was in high school and even in college, we used formaldehyde to preserve everything. So all of the fetal pigs you dissect, all of the things that you do are all has this really distinct formaldehyde smell, which is really gross. But so today's stuff is way better, even though that probably stunk last year with the pigs or the year before. It still is way better than the formaldehyde. But all preserved lab species were in formaldehyde, and so now they've banned that. It's no longer allowed in school at all because it's a volatile chemical and we shouldn't be breathing it. So I just put that in there, that little information. And then there's this thing called sick building syndrome. So there's 4 reasons that it would occur. So know those 4 reasons. And what exactly is sick building syndrome? It happens to be with new buildings, or more often with new buildings. So read about those 4 reasons in there. And that concludes M50.